Bernie Sanders had Larry Wilmore on his podcast. Apparently, Bernie Sanders had a podcast, and the world was conspiring and colluding to keep that fact from me. I had no idea. All I do is follow politics, and I had no idea Bernie Sanders had a podcast. No clue. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that. And they spoke here about the Democrats and their connections to Wall Street.
1938, 1940, stopped somebody on the street and said, tell me, which political party is the party of the working class of this country? Which party is the party of big money?
Right.
It would have been pretty clear.
Easy answer, right?
Very easy answer.
Yes.
Today, that's not the answer. You stop those people, no one's quite sure. They think both parties are on the take. Both parties are dominated by big money. Mm-hmm. And I think what happened to the Democrats, I don't know exactly when, late 60s, 70s, maybe I'm off by some years.
Yeah.
They began to understand that the easy way to raise money was to go to corporate America.
Yes.
Okay. And once you go to Wall Street and you go to corporate America and you take their money, eventually that ideology begins to seep into your politics. Mm-hmm. And I think you saw that certainly in the Clinton administration, Bill Clinton's administration.
And when you say their ideology, what specifically are you talking about?
More centrist political approach, less emphasis on the needs of working people, trying to balance, for example, the needs of Wall Street. You'll remember during the Clinton administration, they deregulated Wall Street.
Yes.
It wasn't George Bush who did it. It was Bill Clinton who did it. It was Robert Rubin, who was his Secretary of Treasury. Mm-hmm. This was Wall Street. This was Wall Street's message.
Right. And we had just had a crash in 1987.
That's right. That's right.
I remember the whole savings and loan debacle that people had forgotten about so quickly.
Which now seems nickel and dime,
yes,
right?
It was compared to the credit default swaps of the
Exactly.
odds. Yeah.
Exactly. So you had that. You had a trade policy. Corporate America said, hey, why do I want to pay workers in America a good wage? Mm-hmm. I can move to Mexico, then to China.
Right.
Let's do that. So you had, policies that reflected what Wall Street and the big money interest wanted. And I think in that process, the soul of the Democratic Party was lost. Larry, my philosophy is, and I know not everybody agrees with me, but do you remember that old Woody Guthrie song of Which Side Are You On?
Sure.
Do you remember that?
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what, in politics, you got to make a decision.
Yes. Where are you going to stand? Yeah.
Where are you going to stand? You're going to stand with working people who are struggling. You're going to stand with the big money interests. You can't be in both camps.
The soul of the Democratic Party was lost to Wall Street and corporations. That's what Bernie Sanders just said. That's a quote. Quote, the soul of the Democratic Party was lost. This may be the strongest that I've heard him, articulate the problem of the corporate Democrats. And he's right. I mean, that point at the beginning is a powerful point. You go up to somebody back in the day and you ask them, hey, who are the party of the workers? People be like, yeah, the Democrats. Yeah, the Republicans are the party of business. The Democrats are the party of the workers. That's the way it is. I mean, that's duh. You go up to somebody now, he goes, people are like, I don't know. I don't know. Neither party. Some people might say Democrats. Some people might say Republicans. And, there are some people who want to say, well, it's just because people are stupid. That's why they... No, but it's also the case that, yes, the Democrats have abandoned working people. I mean, that's crystal clear. And he laid it out in great detail there. In the late 1970s and onward, you had the Supreme Court decide, hey, money equals free speech. So the Democrats said, why are we only taking money from, workers and stuff? Why don't we start taking corporate money? And so what they do is they said, we're now centrists. We're centrists. We're third-way Democrats. We're new Democrats. And, hey, sometimes maybe we represent the workers, but other times, hey, we take the corporate money and we're in favor of outsourcing U.S. jobs and we're in favor of giving special tax breaks to the financial industry. And Bernie's like, now nobody stands up for the workers. Who's there to represent the workers? And look, that's why we're doing what we're doing with Justice Democrats. And this is actually why Bernie's right about everything he says there, but this is why I'm frustrated, and I think many other people are frustrated about his bullshit unity tour with Tom Perez. Because, understand, am I against unity, by definition? Of course not. In fact, I'm in favor of unity. Justice Democrats have unified with brand new Congress. Again, that's the real left. We've unified with National Nurses United. because they're the real left. They believe in the policy positions that are good for the American people. I'm even in favor of unity with people who are third-party, options who I agree with on policy. We might not agree with in terms of strategy, but that's neither here nor there. If they have victories for the policies we all agree with and they do it a different way, who cares? I'm with them on that. So I'm for Greens, Democratic Socialists. I'm for unity among the actual left, the populist left, people who are going to fight for Medicare for all, free college, so on and so forth. What happens is the corporate Democrats scream about unity, and it's a trick. What they mean is you, actual progressives, need to unify behind our corporate message. You need to fall in line. So Tom Perez and the DNC and the corporate Democrats, prop Bernie up and push him out there like a mascot. And they say, all right, now make us popular. And look, if I was Bernie, you want to know what my condition would have been for doing the Unity Tour? You need to reverse the ruling you just did, the voting you just had, where you said the DNC is going to keep taking corporate and PAC money. They just said it. They just did it. The rule was there. They got rid of the rule. Then they voted, should we bring it back? Nah, let's keep taking corporate money. So, but that's the main corrupting influence is the corporate money. That's why you sell out to people time and time and time again. So if I'm Bernie, I go, you want me to do a unity tour with you? Because I'm literally the most popular politician in the country. You need me. I don't need you. You need me. So you want to do a unity tour? Okay, here we go. No corporate and PAC money. That's it. No more corporate and PAC money, and we're going out there and we're pushing Medicare for all. How you like them apples? But no, that's not. They didn't say yes to that, and Bernie did the unity tour anyway, which is upsetting because I know Bernie means well. I know he means well, and I know he's trying to fight for the right things, but you've been had, Bern. You've been had. I say fuck no on the unity tour until you get rid of the corporate and PAC money. And there's even some reports that Bernie wanted to do a Medicare for all tour, and Tom Perez was like, no, that's not a good idea. Let's make it a unity tour. Well, of course, leave it to the corporate Democrats. We're for good things, and we're against bad things, and we're principles and values, and we're going to lead with our values, and we're good people, and you like us, right? Please? Do I have any more vague bullshit platitudes I could throw your way? No. You want unity? There's real unity happening among actual progressives and liberals who want to represent all the American people with policies that are overwhelmingly favored. There's unity among people who want free college and Medicare for all and a living wage and to end the wars and to re-regulate Wall Street and to do a new deal for the economy and a green technology revolution. We have real unity among these people, and we're not going to stop until we win. So Bernie's right about everything he said there, but, the approach that'll work is, how Tom Perez says, we're going to live our values. No, actually living our values in that we don't take corporate money, we don't take PAC money. So, Just Democrats, no corporate money, no PAC money, and you can read our platform, see exactly what we stand for, and that's what we're going to fight for. And you hold us accountable. If their records are not pristine, okay, then, I'll come out and criticize them immediately. So this is the real solution. Because the only way the Democrats are going to take over the country again is if they're principled, they're not corrupt, and they're populist left. Because the polls already show the American people agree with those ideas. Now they just need somebody to represent them and actually mean it.